Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kiki and Kibbitz Below Deck Mediterranean Edition. We are so excited today because we have been waiting and waiting and waiting for our moment because Lloyd is here from Below Deck Mediterranean.
Hi, Lloyd.
My favorite. Our recent co-host John Furley and Sean Cole once asked me like if I could interview anyone in the world, who it would be, and I was like, Barack Obama, Oprah, Captain Lee, and Lloyd. that was my list.
That's a pretty good group of people to be included in. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah. So this is Mary, as you can see. And Mary, why don't you tell everyone what's happening outside your window? So I'm in California, Lloyd, and she's in New York. So we're spanning the entire country here.
Yeah.
What's happening with you, Mary?
So this morning, NYPD rang my bell and said there was
New York Police Department.
Yes, New York Police Department rang my bell and said that there is an armed standoff with a emotionally disturbed man holding his mother hostage around the corner from my house, and advised me to stay in my house away from the windows until further notice. So
wow.
If you see me subtly drop off the screen during the interview, just keep going, guys. Okay, the show must go on. I will hit the mute button.
A big black warning over it too.
Exactly. I will hit
graphic content.
I will hit the mute button as I go down.
Wow.
And the show must go on.
The show must go on.
Fingers crossed that doesn't happen.
Yes.
Yeah, right. We could not have a more diverse crew here. So we've got New York City with the standoff. I'm by the beach in California, like in Surferville, not like down south with all flashy people. And you are where?
I am in Athens, in Greece at the moment for the next couple of days before I head off to Italy.
I really hate you for that.
Yes, so do I.
I want to go there.
Can we trade places right now, Lloyd? I would rather be where you are than.
Well, I haven't been to New York, so I'd probably take you up on that offer, even if it meant I had to hang out for a bit in your apartment before the mad gunner person leaves.
If you come to California, though, I have a really nice guest room for you, and I'll take you everywhere.
Thank you very much.
Stay with me. I'll cook for you and treat you like visiting royalty. That is mine.
Well, have a word with Biden and get me a visa, and then I'll be coming over.
Oh, no worries on that. Anyways, so what kind of boat are you working on right now? Is it a big yacht like the Wellington, which really isn't called the Wellington, right? It was actually the Wellesley. Right.
Yeah, so it's a 48-meter motor yacht. So yeah, pretty big. A little bit smaller than Lady Michelle that I was on the show.
With Lady Michelle. Sorry, not the Wellington. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, similar size, just a little bit smaller. A few less crew.
Yeah. And are you a deckhand or are
I'm on the boat.
Lead deckhand now?
I'm actually on as bosun. So.
You're a bosun now?
Yeah.
High five, brother.
High five.
Yeah.
Wow. So what changed for you that you've kind of moved up in the world very quickly? Is that because of the show or just because you really learned how to do everything and really be in charge?
Yeah, I mean, that was a great stepping stone. I then stayed on Lady Michelle as a second engineer, so got a lot of good experience there. And then since that time,
second engineer. What does a second engineer do?
So you assist the chief engineer in some of the big jobs, and then you get, for example, I had to go inside the black water tank and clean a sensor, so you get all the nasty jobs as well.
So you really earn it on those boats, right? You have to go through. Do you scuba dive, by the way?
No, I am waiting for an opportunity to learn. I would absolutely love it.
Well, I am a dive master, so if you want to hire me to come free the anchor and go down and scrub the boat, I'm all in.
Yeah, but depends which marina you're in. If the water's nasty, well, I'll get you to do it.
Yeah, right. If you're in the marina, it's kind of gross with all the petrol in the water and stuff.
Yeah,
I would still do it. Anyway, so how long have you worked on charter boats?
So I was before Lady Michelle. I was working on private boats, so that was actually my first experience in a charter setting.
Oh, and what was the big difference for you? Is it like what is it the number of guests or what is the difference?
It's very much more go go go. You know, turnarounds are quick between the charters. You never really know what they're going to be like. At least when you've got an owner on board, you know, they don't drastically change from one trip to another. Whereas each charter is full of its own unique challenges that you have to sort of face without really any forewarning.
When you're on a charter.
Yes, yeah, when you're on a charter.
Yeah. And what about when you're on a below deck med charter?
Yeah, well, you've got your usual challenges, and then in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, you know, God, this is on camera. So if you drop a line in the water or something like that, normally you tend to just be able to pull it out calmly and just do it again. Whereas when you got a camera in your face, if you drop something or you fall over, you immediately are thinking, Christ, you know, they've seen that, and then that tends to lead to you making a couple more problems very shortly after.
Yeah, right. When you get anxious, and that is me. I relate to your anxiety a lot. Like it's definitely like it snowballs.
Definitely.
But I have drugs for that. Better living through chemicals.
Yeah.
So,
well,
yeah. Go on.
I was going to say on a boat, that's not the case. You gotta manage it in different ways.
Yeah, don't bring your CBD vape or you'll end up like Hannah.
Indeed, yeah.
Tell me the truth though. People come on board with all kinds of shit, right? And they don't tell anyone.
Well, obviously people do it and don't tell anyone, but it is the case. If you're found with something like that, then you're instantly fired. Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard from other cast members though, they were like, I had my vape on board too. I just didn't get caught. I didn't leave it on my bed.
Yeah,
I mean that was the rookie mistake. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, big time. Well,
you have to be smart about it, right? Gonna do something like that, have to be smart about it.
Sort of life altering. Yeah, Mary's speaking from experience. So am I though. I'm so potheads over here. So on the boat, is it like filled with camera people everywhere, or what is it like? There's a lot of cameras.
Yeah, depending on the time, you know, if it's very busy on the interior, you can sort of go around for a couple of hours without really seeing a camera guy. Which is, you know, if you're just sort of standing watching the swim platform, you're obviously being monitored by the static cameras, but you can sort of have a little bit of a respite. On Lady Michelle, there was a particular area where you could pretend you were going to do some work, but actually you didn't get seen. And so once you went in there, no one knew you were in there. So a couple of times I used to sneak down into one of the bilges and just go on my phone, have a can of Coke, and then come back up again.
Just have a moment, huh? Take a moment.
But yeah, no, it's when you're the action, so to speak. Yeah, there's camera, audio people. Sort of, I don't know the job title. There's another couple of people that tend to float around the boat, you know, audio and bits and pieces. So yeah, you can, all of a sudden it does get very jammed up because boats are pretty small places anyway.
Do they make you redo things, like say it again? Because we interview a lot of reality cast members, and on shows like 90 Day Fiance and stuff like that, they make them repeat the scenes. They'd be like, sorry, there was a plane flying overhead. Can you say that again? Do they do that on Below Deck too?
Not for me. I mean, there was a couple of voice things that which I had actually said that hadn't been caught, but I didn't recreate in terms of like an acting or whatever. But just there was a couple of things that I specifically said that was a part of it. So then I just did an audio recording of that, so it was shown with a clip from when it was happening.
Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. So do you think some of these crew members, are they there because they want to be actors or they want to be on TV? Is it that kind of situation, or are they really devoted yachties?
In my season, there was definitely one, possibly two people that were specifically there to get on television. Yeah.
I'm going to make a guess, but I'm not going to make you call anyone out.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of showmanship happening there.
Indeed, whereas I genuinely think the majority of the rest of the crew all just happened to be in parts of their life where that opportunity came up, and it seemed like something that was going to be fun.
Yeah, Chef Matt, we interviewed him, and he was definitely like, I feel like he really doesn't want to do that again. It was a lot for him, I think.
Yeah,
but also I don't think he's getting invited back.
I don't think Matt would probably get invited back, but saying that, I would work with Matt again. So
everyone seems to like him, or at least on the reunion, every single person except Captain Sandy said she'd work with him again, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I think everyone, when you watch it being filmed, and he's puts Katie through a lot of stress, asking, was it all right? Was it all right? And he needs a lot of reassurance. But 99% of the times, Katie didn't mind, and it then led to further sort of banter in the galley, which wasn't really shown on the series. That would then become a thing. So then he'd keep asking, and we'd all make jokes about it. So yeah, it was actually really nice. It wasn't just seen as like a continuously needy thing from him.
Yeah, but of course they need to play that up. We were very surprised because Matt was nothing. When we interviewed him, he was nothing like what we saw on screen. Like, exactly. I feel like they gave him a crappy edit. He's such a sweetheart. And they really played it up like he was kind of sleazy or something.
That's why we say things are not like what they're portrayed on TV. Because Matt was nothing like he's portrayed on TV.
Yeah, no, he's very kind-hearted. He's got his sense of humor is it's hilarious, but some of the things have to be filtered for television. So it didn't. Some of his funniness and natural charisma doesn't come off on TV because the lead up to the stories and things like that can't be shown.
Right. And it would be bad TV, right, if everything was just happy all the time.
Right.
But
yeah, exactly.
Lexi thing, we weren't even allowed to ask about it because there is a secret Bravo producer on the call making sure that we didn't ask anything about it. We were literally not allowed to ask about Lexi. That made for kind of a boring interview. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't boring, but I mean, that's what it wasn't boring at all, but that's what was on everyone's mind. So is it okay for us to talk about it? Like, I'm guessing you guys aren't best friends or anything, right?
Yeah, you could ask me the question, and I'll decide whether or not how much I'm gonna divulge.
Totally fine. Fair enough. So was it as bad as it looked?
Yeah, it was definitely as bad as it looked.
Was it worse than it looked?
Yeah, because it went on for so long. They can't show 50 minutes of that argument, but I mean, the table after in our day off, that argument went on for almost an hour. So yeah, it was always a lot worse than what it showed because of the time that it happened in it. It was such a long
right.
And who was she really having an argument with? I mean, like everyone.
Yeah, pretty much. A few people got more involved than others. When someone new piped up, she'd react to them, and then that person would either decide to step back or they would decide to kick off. But the same with Matt. I told Matt to be quiet several times and to leave it, which he did not. And then, yeah, so it was definitely to both sides. People said be quiet, but then as it got more intense, more people sort of stepped back and let it unfold.
When she pushed Z, that was sort of crossing a line, right?
Yeah, it was terrible. I mean, I thankfully was keeping out of it. I was making chamomile tea with honey for Katie and Malia.
Lloyd was like, I was just making tea and I wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah, so I didn't actually see that. So the camera doesn't show it, but it's down the corridor to the crew cabin. So although it looks like I'm very close to where it's happening, with the angle of where I stood, I didn't actually see any of that. So it wasn't until the next day I got filled in with how bad it really was.
Oh, wow. So you weren't actually watching that. Yeah, it looked brutal. God, what is wrong with her? She's got a problem.
And like, I don't really understand why she turned on you, Lloyd, in the hot tub and she just went like ballistic. Like that was just out of the blue.
Yeah, there was a bit strange, you know. We were having our, and the other thing was we were in that hot tub for like 45 minutes to an hour before that happened. So there was like lots of like everyone else was sort of having quite nice conversations. I gave Z a lap dance. And
how did they not show that? I fucking hate all of them for that.
Yeah, so Courtney and Z were sort of giving each other lap dances, and then we were playing like Truth or Dare, and I was like, "Oh, cool, Dare." And they were like, "Give someone a lap dance," and I was like, "Cool, I'll give him a better one than Courtney," and then proceeded to grind on him for a couple of minutes. But yeah, that didn't even make the edit.
How is that possible? You must be a terrible lap dancer.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think everyone had got bored of seeing me lap dance him on the first night when we were in the master cabin. So
you guys were a really fun crew compared to like season. I've watched every episode of Below Deck Med, Below Deck Sailing Yacht. Yeah. Like you were I think you were one of the best crews ever. You were the most fun to watch. For sure.
Okay, that's lovely to hear. And we certainly, in the times when we were together and not fighting, we had some of the best times. That was why it was so enjoyable for us.
Yeah. So do you think Lexi's just a mean drunk? Because there are people like that, right? Where the minute they start drinking, they get hostile. We don't know. Okay.
The way that she's acted after it, I think explains the type of person she is.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, that would be my. I'm quite shocked that she's decided to go. Well, went so heavily on the offensive online, and but if that's what she believes in her head, then that's what sort of person she is.
Yeah, sad and lonely. Yes. That's my guess.
I didn't say that.
I said it.
I removed myself from that comment. But
Rihanna's like, yeah. I said it.
I said it because when people are angry all the time, like they, she needs something. She's hurting, obviously. What do they say? Hurt people,
Yeah. So. Definitely, and all I can say is I hope that whatever it is, she finds something that can help with it. Because I mean, if she wants, she's going to live the rest of her life being that sort of angry and upset with the world, then it's not going to be very fun.
That's exactly what I meant. I didn't. That's what I meant.
Exactly.
Yeah. But now the rest of the crew, you guys look like you're for real bonded and friends, like real friends, aren't you?
Yeah, we still speak pretty regularly. The group chat goes off every single day, and then we all pretty much speak to each other on the phone pretty regularly.
That's awesome.
That is so cool.
Who are you closest with?
In terms of, so I went and worked on Malia's boat for a while. So I'm definitely very, very close with her. I'm very good friends with Jake, so I speak to them quite a bit. I speak to David on the phone. We met up a couple of times when we were back in the UK. But obviously, Z's my man. So
he's awesome. Where does he live?
In South Africa, Cape Town.
Oh, he's in Cape Town. Oh, yeah. I wasn't sure if he lived there or if he had moved away. Yeah.
He's moving around at the moment. I think he's just gone back for a bit.
Yeah. He's not Afrikaner though, is he? He's English, South African, right?
No, he is. I don't want to do him a disjustice of what type of South African he is, but no, he's not English South African, and he's definitely not Afrikaans South African.
Yeah, no, he's not. I was married to an Afrikaner for 13 years, and I can tell that his accent is not Afrikaans.
Yeah, I can't remember the name, and if I have a guess, then it'll probably be wrong, and it'll be exceptionally embarrassing for me.
Yeah, it's almost as diverse as India, South Africa. It's kind of a trip. People don't realize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lloyd, do you get recognized a lot? Like, do fans recognize you when you're out and about?
Not really, because I'm in Greece, so there's not a lot of people that watch the show. One person did just scream at me across the Montserrat Square. Just he was like, "I love the show, man," but like didn't come up and didn't say anything.
I think once you get home, it's gonna be different. But yeah. So I mean, I really think you are everyone's favorite cast member, and I think it's because of your vulnerability and your ability to be so open publicly. What was it like for you that night when you broke down? But it seemed like you were, I mean, letting off a lot of past experiences, and it was because you felt so comfortable in the, like, it looked like a combination of happy and sad. Is that?
Yeah, it was nice.
What's going on with inside you?
It was nice to talk about it, but the impending doom and fear when I woke up the next day and realised I said that on camera was definitely the main reason that led to my panic attack later on the show. They obviously couldn't show that because you can't have a storyline that I was concerned about something being on TV when I'm meant to be working on a boat. But yeah, the number one reason that led to the events later in the season was because I was worrying about that night. Yeah,
I can imagine. Yeah, you were very vulnerable, but it looked like you were really supported by them.
Yeah, and I've been supported ever since by them all as well. So that's the big thing. In terms of the show as well, I've been offered some help and certain members of production have reached out to me, which is always very nice.
Because you spoke a lot of people's truth, right? I mean, is that what you're hearing from people? Because even I related to what you were saying. Like, I think I related to the feeling of being different and I was very bullied as a kid. And it seemed like you were talking about that. And then you talked about your sexuality being sort of on a spectrum. And I think you spoke for me and lots of other people about that too.
Yeah. But now that the show's aired and I've had such an abundance of messages, particularly on Instagram from people just explaining exactly how they related to it, or, one nice one was, I watched the show of my family and it made my family discuss this, but this would never have been something they'd have discussed before. Things like that. I could be here for an hour telling you all the nice messages that I've got about really cool situations that have occurred from people watching that episode.
How has that transformed you?
It's made me a lot more confident, and it's nice, when I try and message back to as many people as possible. So sometimes it's very hard when I'm working, but yeah, it's nice to hear a little bit more of their stories and offer a bit of support back to them if they need it.
I feel like you changed the world a little bit that night. Like,
yes, you did.
You changed the world because, well, we say the world, we're in the US, we think it's the whole world, right? But here in the US, I feel like you changed our culture in that moment, the way that you spoke about yourself.
Nice. You said the US because it was obviously airing in the UK as well, and quite a few. I mean, predominantly American, but I certainly got some messages from people in the UK as well, which was cool. Lots of people from my hometown saying thank you very much for representing Brighton so well, which was very nice.
Oh, yes, that's awesome. Very cool. I didn't actually realize it was on in the UK. I didn't know it's on.
Yeah, it came out the same time as it did on Peacock on Hey You.
Wow, sweet.
Cool.
Great. Did your parents have any reaction to this?
My mum still doesn't know I went on a TV show.
Shut up.
Really?
Yeah. I just never told her, and just didn't deem it necessary. Yeah, so she's still in the dark. And yeah, my dad knows. He's seen every episode. He watched it about 10 seconds after it was put on every day. So
how did he react? Are they married?
No. They're separated. One lives in another country, so they don't speak. He was a little bit shocked. He's very old school, so when he watched that episode, because I didn't tell him, I didn't pre-warn him, I just hoped he wasn't going to watch it. And then he sort of gave me an awkward hug and asked if I'd had any grief from it, and I said no, not really. And he sort of patted me on the back, and we haven't really spoken much about it since.
Wow, that's pretty intense.
Yeah, nothing's changed. He's just very old school English, so he's sort of accepted it, but I don't think he needs to talk about it.
Yeah, I got it. Your mom's gonna find out, you know that.
Yeah. But I mean,
I know you two are really close. You told me that you guys are super close.
So it airs on terrestrial TV in the UK in October of next year. So that it's like aired on like the normal TV that everyone gets for free. So that's when maybe it might come out. It'll come down, yeah. But so I think that'll be good. That'll be 2 years since I filmed it that she didn't find out. So.
You're like, everything's different now, Mom.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago, Mom. What are you talking about?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everything's different. I grew out of that. Yeah.
Right. It was just a stage, Mom. It was just a stage.
Right. Yeah. So you said on the reunion you were seeing someone.
Yeah.
Can we ask about who? You can say no.
I can give you some information. She finds it very amusing reading the news articles about the Lloyd's mystery girl, and they're like, we're investigating now, and we'll find out. So she finds that very funny because she's not on Instagram, she's not on Facebook, so she keeps herself to herself. But yeah, she's absolutely amazing. She actually works on this boat with me now, so we get to spend a lot of time together.
Oh, how sweet!
Oh, nice. Oh, and, I'm happy for you. I'm very happy for you.
And she's a chef, so I get to eat very well. I get called into the galley to make sure the things are going right and tasting well. So I get little tidbits through the day.
That sounds like code. I get tidbits.
Well, no, sadly not. Maybe a coffee and a quick kiss, but nothing more.
Oh, that's sweet. So really, I want to ask you about something that Mary and I usually we put a bunch of questions in a Google Doc, and I'm like not following the script at all here. I want to ask about that night where you guys were so drunk and David, like, I don't know if he was trying to fly or what he was doing. What happened? I'm dying to know what happened. And I was like, if they show that one more time, I got like anxious as hell. Like what?
In the hot tub?
Yes.
Yeah. So we just thought he was jumping, like going up and then sort of like jumping back into the hot tub. We later found out that he was trying to climb the mast to jump into the hot tub.
Shut up.
Yeah. So none of us knew that. And obviously, if we'd realized that was what he was doing, we would have stopped him. but we just thought he was like getting out the hot tub to like just like splosh back in, like we'd all done quite a few times. And then no, he was trying to do a dive off the mast into the hot tub, which he sure as would have probably killed himself if he got up there.
So he got off easy with that bruise.
He did indeed, yeah.
Yes, he did.
Even he doesn't know why the hell he was doing that.
I'm gonna go with alcohol.
Yeah.
The reason for so many bad decisions. So was Captain Sandy like unduly hard on Malia for that? Because it looks like she really came down on her in a very harsh way.
I mean, it's tricky in the show. You haven't got the same number of officers, and the officers' roles are not quite the same. So David had actually seen a doctor, and he'd informed Martin that he had injured his leg. So he'd actually done everything right, but she'd said at the beginning that she wanted to know if anyone was injured. So that was what it was. But then when it came to being shown on TV, it was used as that she had to know. But in fact, he had some cream from the doctor. He'd had an appointment with her, and it had been registered with Martin.
And Martin is who?
The first officer.
Okay, so when Malia said, "I'm not the first officer," she was saying the first officer took the report and he should have told you. Okay, so she went full bitch on her. I mean, I'm pissed at her still from last season. I'm pissed about that cameo that she did. Captain Sandy, she's still on my shit list, and I used to like her a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, last season, right, Mary? I was like, yes, female bosun, female captain.
Yes,
like,
yes, so excited. And now it's like...
It was a shit show.
Yes.
An absolute shit show. I don't know. Okay, what was it really like? I just want to ask all the questions. Like, is Captain Sandy, is she the micromanager that everyone says?
I mean, we were left to ourselves for the majority of the season. I actually joked with her where they put the camera in the back of the boat where we lifted the tender in and out. If you put the crane the wrong way, you'd knock the camera off. And she came down, the only time she'd come down while I was doing it, and I just took the camera clean out. And I was like, man, it's only when you're here, Captain. Can you just like go away and then I don't break things, like as a joke? So yeah, I think the two times that I messed up, she happened to be standing right next to me. But no, she left us alone the majority of the time. I mean, I had a very good relationship with her, still do. She offered me lots of support, and it started off. I was always making everyone tea because obviously was the best person on the boat to make tea. Yeah,
you're most qualified to make tea.
So, and she'd come down at like 10:30 or whatever it was, and she's like, "Well, Lloyd, you're always in here. You're never doing any work." And I was like, "No, I am." I was like, "It's tea time, so I'm making everyone a tea." I said, "That's valuable work. It's keeping the morale up, and you've got to keep hydrated." And then after about the fourth time of catching me down there, I said, "Look, Captain, try one of my tea. It's a builder's tea. It's going to be phenomenal, blow your mind." And she had a builder's tea, and she was like, "Right, yep, that's it." And then she'd end up meeting me down there when I was going to go make tea.
What's a builder's tea? What's a builder's tea?
So it's just a standard everyday tea in England. So it's normally like tea, milk, 2 sugars,
Got it.
made quickly with just the standard tea that...
yeah.
Because builders don't do any work really, do they? They just stand around making tea. That's why it's called builder's tea.
That's funny. I know it's very specific too because my stepfather's British and I grew up with British step siblings. So I know there's like a lot of rules and there's an order of operations. You cannot put the milk in at the same time as the tea bag. Like it's a science.
Absolutely
right?
not. Yeah, no, that is sacrilege. And the worst thing I saw was that video of you damn Americans putting it in the microwave. Like, what the hell is that about?
I know we're fucked up over here.
Yeah, we are fucked up.
You should all take a trip to London and go to the Twinings tea shop and get a tea demonstration, and then you'll know exactly what tea needs to be brewed at what particular temperature and for how long. It's an incredible experience.
Yeah, and there's also, it's very specific about the type of tea that you can make too. Because my stepsister, she will not drink it if it's like an off-brand. Like, I can get away with like standard, what is it? I guess she'll drink the Lipton's black tea, and there's another one, but really they're all substandard here.
Yeah. It's very hard to find good tea. They sell Harrogate's here in Greece, so I've stocked up on that, which is it's not quite Twinings, but it will do.
Yeah. So Mary wanted to ask you about the Oktoberfest night, right?
Yeah. So how did you like the Oktoberfest night? Lloyd, how was that?
Yeah, that was great. Rocking up dressed as a beer was great, while everyone else had to wear those terrible outfits. The funniest thing was that the daughter was also dressed as a bear, and it didn't show, but she was absolutely mortified that someone else had turned up in a beer costume. So there was a little bit of awkwardness. When I appeared and said, "Did anyone order a beer?" and everyone cheered, she was just staring at.
Now, do you like doing these type of things for the guests, or would you prefer stay in the background?
No, I love it. That's the fun part of it. Yeah. So, I used to run tours with someone else for people up to 48 people. So we're used to putting a bit of a show on. So yeah, any opportunity to do that, I'd love to do it again.
Cool.
Wow. I support you, but I could never do that.
Yeah, me either.
So I won't even wear a costume for Halloween. Like, no.
It took a lot of time for me to build my own confidence. I was very shy when I was younger, so I went backpacking by myself when I was 18 and forced myself to start talking to people and put myself in more and more challenging situations as I've grown up to a point now. And I still get nervous, but I can go into these situations feeling much more comfortable now.
So do you want to talk about the panic attack that Mary was also very... I'm asking your questions, Mary, because she's so overwhelmed by how much she loves you. She's too shy to say.
I'm just trying not to get shot. I'm just concerned about what's going on outside. I'm hoping I don't have to drop off the screen. Yeah, what was going on that night?
At the end of the season, or was that closer to that night that you described? Like, what was happening?
No, I think that was the third night before the end of filming, in terms of filming on the boat. So it was just as we left for that last charter, in the time frame that it showed. So yeah, no, that was right at the end. But I just had a particularly bad night's sleep, and there was just lots going on at that particular time. And then we had to leave a bit early for the job. People rushing around. There was all sorts of other things happening as well as what was shown.
You guys work really long hours when you're filming, right?
Yeah. The other thing is, so if you're on a night watch and you're up till 4, then you'd normally go to bed for 8 hours and you'd be up at midday. But if we were coming into dock in the morning early, so sometimes go to bed at 4:30 and be up at 6:30, 7:30, and then not only do you have to wait to the guests, but then the guests get off the boat and you have to clean the boat till 5, and then you go out for crew dinner and get hammer drunk, but you slept for 2.5 hours, 3 hours. So some parts of that, when you got screwed with that shift, and then you never said, "Oh, can I go back to sleep in the afternoon?" Because you'd never be allowed. But really, you haven't had that rest, so you did need to go back to sleep. So once you've done two or three of those in a row, you're absolutely shattered.
Yeah, I know that can make your emotions weird and get your nervous system all hyped up.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I think we all really felt for you.
Yeah. Well, it was mortifying sitting in the bridge.
Oh my God, I'm sure it was. I would have been totally mortified too.
The most embarrassing thing was I actually threw up in Captain Sandy's toilet. So yeah.
All of that, I'm sure.
Was
that on film.
literally the panic attack that broke Twitter. Everybody was like freaking out. They're like, no, Lloyd, no.
I know you were worried about being accepted and time out, but not being accepted. Meanwhile, literally the entire globe loves you now. Like you're the most popular crew member. So there you go.
Yes, everyone loves you, Lloyd. Okay, yeah, I have a question. I have a question.
All right.
Now, that first night that Matt left the boat because of his knee or his own panic attack, and all you guys had to make dinner, what was going through your head, Lloyd?
So it's going to be really boring, I'm afraid. I was on night watch. I was on night watch. So about, as they were discussing it, I was like, cool, I'm off to bed. And then I woke up after all the washing up had been done. So I missed the whole saga. So everyone was there going, bloody hell, dinner was such a nightmare. And I was just like, all right, I'm off to go do some anchor watch now. So,
That's hilarious. That is so funny.
That's hilarious.
I have a question sorry.
No, it's just funny because that was so many reporters asked me that at the beginning, and I was like, man, I wasn't even there. So you're wasting your time on me.
So the one thing that I haven't heard anyone ask, but is the most obvious thing of all, was were there any hookups? Because that's normally a thing. There's always somebody hooking up on the season, but there did not appear to be any hookups going on.
No, apart from the Courtney Z kissing, which neither of them remembered both times. I think it was.
There was to interview with us about that.
I know.
There was nothing, and I mean, we had so much fun taking the mick out of Z for not remembering, and then David's slightly embarrassing proposition to Malia. So yeah, we were quite happy with
propositions.
Yeah, so we were quite happy just joking about that. And I mean, I was joking that that I was never going to get anyone, so everyone kept laughing at that. So yeah, no, we all just took the mick out of each other, and there were no other hookups.
I don't think anyone went through without having an embarrassing moment. There was a lot of embarrassing moments.
Yeah, there certainly was.
Talk about vulnerability.
I think I got away with not falling over on camera though, which I'm quite happy about.
Did everything else though.
Yeah.
I think puking on camera, that would be my worst fear. So I mean, that split. I'm gonna see if I can catch you off guard.
Well, again, I'm the boring one to ask because I had to leave to go back to work. So
Matt wouldn't tell us. Mary, can you ask him again? Now Mary's friends with Matt.
Okay, I'll ask Matt again. You got it.
He told me I was beautiful, so I just want to throw that in there.
Yes.
Well, you're both beautiful, so I topped that one.
Oh, thank you.
I think you're beautiful. I do.
Yeah, no, we did a little bit of sightseeing. Went to the mall, went out for dinner, had a few drinks, and then I left for work. And God knows what happens after I left.
In my imagination, it was just massive group sex.
I mean, a few people probably would have been secretly up for that idea, but I don't think that happened.
I don't either. It's just what I'd like to believe.
Yeah. Well, I think you should stop asking what happened, and then you can just happily imagine that that's exactly what did happen.
Totally. So, Mary, do you have any other questions for Lloyd?
I don't know. Did we ask him all our questions? If you could
I
change
mean, we asked
one
more
thing,
than all our questions.
I have one more question. If you could change
Yeah.
one thing about your experience on Below Deck Med, what would it be, Lloyd?
If you'd asked me that just after filming, I would have said I wish I hadn't said what I had to Katie that night. I don't think that's the case anymore. I don't know. I wish I would gone in there with the slightly. I didn't realize how mentally affected I'd been with being at home with the lockdown and my previous experiences. Not to say that I wouldn't have gone on there. I just wish I'd been a little bit more aware of what was going on in my head. Yeah. I hadn't really processed anything, and I was just sort of pushing through and trying not to deal with anything. So maybe I've dealt with a few things, a few months beforehand when it could have maybe made me feel a lot happier.
Yeah, I think we can all relate to that.
Yes.
So
definitely.
do you have any advice for, Gen Z as because I feel like this generation that's coming up is a lot more open about their sexuality, about a lot of things. Do you have any advice for them?
I think that don't think that older people necessarily don't understand. I think they just are not used to speaking about it.
Yeah, that's true. We don't.
Yeah,
we understand.
Yes, we do understand. We're just not used to speaking about it. Yes.
Yeah. I think if you ask a 16-year-old, what a 30-year-old is used to thinking, I'm thinking of the UK, like they wouldn't think that we knew what was going on. But I mean, we all went to college, we all did those things, and it's definitely people slightly younger than me that are more open about talking about that. But older brothers, sisters, even parents, so they're
Parents.
if we got a 39-year-old, 40-year-old parent, I'm pretty sure that they're going to be pretty chill and have been through those experiences, or know people that have. So
I know. I say that if anyone who says they've never been attracted to someone of the same sex or haven't done something, they're fucking lying. There's only a few people that I believe who've insisted, like my husband.
Yeah,
it's because
just maybe open that conversation and take your views, but don't start the conversation by pushing your views. Ask the person what their thoughts are on a topic, and then slowly go from there. Because I've had some very surprising conversations with people that shocked me, and I'm pretty liberal. So it's there's the conversations are there to be had. You just have to initiate them.
Yeah. Cool. Is there any other things that you'd like to share with us before we end this?
No, I mean, I absolutely love my time on the show. I'd 100% go back if that opportunity came up again in the future. But yeah, no, lots of people wish me well, saying, I hope you're in a good place. And yeah, I'm in a really bloody good place at the moment. Really, really happy, really contented, got a really good support network around me. So yeah, just really, really enjoying myself.
You look absolutely radiant, to be honest.
Well, I've been working in the sun all day, so I'm a little bit red.
I just mean you look happy and you look confident and you're just radiating a different vibe. So. Oh
well, thanks very much. I do feel that way. So it's nice to know that it's portraying itself like that.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, coming. Lloyd. Thank you.
This made my day, week, year.
That's all right. My pleasure. And and any time in the future, let me know.
Really? Okay. You can even host one if you want.
Yes.
You can come host we'll just watch.
Yes.
Right. Well, I'll get on the blower to Biden and see if he's going to give me that visa, and then I can come over.
Oh, I'll pull some strings for you.
We'll bring you over as a 90-day fiance, right, Brianna?
Yeah, right. Yeah, there we go. We'll find you a 90-day fiance.
We'll get him a 90-day fiance.
All
right. Well, yeah, thanks very much. I absolutely loved it. And have a wicked weekend.
You
Thanks,
too.
Lloyd. You
I'm gonna turn
too.
off the recorder. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.